Hello, and as always, thank you for watching us here at Palos Heights Community Channel 4. My name is Carol Steffen, and we have a whole group of people on camera today with us because we all wanted to be in attendance to this beautiful, beautiful thing that's going on here at Palos Park. It's called the McCord Gallery and Cultural Center, and that's named for a while. Now we're adding a new Anderson Annex, which is a wonderful, if you've never been to McCord, you need to stop in and see it. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It has a gift shop, offers lessons, it has a place just to walk through. It's been here for a very, very long time. I think the McCord family's been here since the middle 1800s in some fashion. So this piece of family and piece of ground has a long, long history. And the people today that you're going to see behind this ribbon have added to that history by putting on this beautiful, beautiful annex. You need to come in. If you haven't, there's plenty of parking. Come in and see the beautiful art that's on display, or perhaps think about taking a lesson or two. They have displays, and you'll see displays. Carl will go around and do a B-roll, and you'll see what the beautiful place looks like. The addition, it's so beautifully melded in from the old to the new. The builder did just a fantastic job. We have the Mayor of John Mahoney here in Palos Park with us, and we have some very dignified dignitaries. How about that? Have dignified dignitaries. We want those for sure. We have a Lynn Terr, who's the executive director over here, and she's holding one end of the ribbon. And we have Carol Chazinski. Am I saying that right? Right next to me and we have who's holding the other end? Jim Weiner. Oh, Jim Weiner. I'm sorry, I didn't get your build. Jim Weiner's holding the other end of this. Very, very important. Maybe this can go in a frame, the ribbon, as of this wonderful occasion. Deborah Hodges is a board member, and she's going to be cutting the ribbon. Am I saying that correctly? Now tell me, why is it that you were chosen? Because I know you're reflecting upon your mom at this point.
I am. This is in memory of my mom, who recently passed, and her seed money was what was the foundation for the Anderson Annex, is what you are enjoying today.
And it is a total enjoyment. There's such a history. Stay with us even after the ribbon cutting, because we're going to talk with not only the mayor of Palos Park, but also some of the people that were very much in the groundwork in the area of this beginning and of developing this cultural center in this Anderson Annex. It was an amazingly overwhelming project, and they carried it off beautifully. You need to stop in, you need to say hello, you need to look around, maybe think about a lesson. I know you must have a program that advertises the different lessons and things that are available here.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can go on our website for all of the listing of the classes.
There you go. And we'll put that website on the film as you're watching it at home, but don't just stay at home. Get in your car and come on out. I'm going to talk to the mayor for one moment. What a proud moment.
Oh, so much. I think in 2004, a few volunteers came together to the village board with an idea for the McCord Gallery. Now, that idea has blossomed to create what I refer to as our now McCord Gallery, an iconic regional attraction for our community and all those around us. So I'm very proud to have the village be the beneficiary of all the hard work of these volunteers and the incredible philanthropic contributions of the Anderson family and others.
This is Mayor John Mahoney. I don't know if I had said his name. He's a wonderful, longtime mayor here in Palos Park. And look around at all the many other develops that have been. It's really kind of fun to come here because they put a stoplight now. And I'm sure they're all happy to have that stoplight, because I'm very happy to have that stoplight out, because several times I've taken my life in my hands. Pulling out onto LaGrange and going north is really a challenge. South was a little bit easier. So that stoplight, I'm sure that was just because the Anderson Annex is here now. But it's a welcome addition to the community. It kind of stands on the top of a bluff. It's very auspicious, and you can't miss it. It's beautiful from the outside, but don't stop there. Pull in the parking lot and come in here and check with the people in here. See what programs they're offering. Okay, should we get to the occasion?
Yes.
Now, have I chatted enough? Okay, it's time for the grand opening, the grand opening is an event that's still yet to come. April 30th, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is the ribbon cutting auspicious occasion, so want to do this? We should do a da-da-da-da. Oh, congratulations. That is so exciting.
Nice work.
Well done. Well done. First try. She never has done this before in her life, and she did it on the very first try. Your mother would be very proud of you, honey. And she's looking down and saying, good job, good job. Thank you. Stay with us for a while. This is just the ribbon cutting part of this, and we're going to interview some of the different people that have been very, very important in the development of this Anderson Annex, along with the rest of McCord Cultural Center. So stay tuned. I'm standing in here with one of the annex rooms that has the many lovely paintings on display. If you walk into the Cultural Center here at McCord, you're going to walk through the different rooms and notice how beautifully it's been put together, the old with the new. There's, I'll have to find out who the artist is. Do you know, John, at all?
I do not.
I'll find out who this artist is that's on display right now, because it's a beautiful showing. And it's very, very interesting because it looks like one picture until you get up very, very close to it, and it's made up of all the different components. I'm standing here with the mayor of Palos Park, John Mahoney, and he's been, how long?
Since 2007.
Okay. That you've been mayor?
That I've been mayor. 2003 I've been on the board.
Okay. And there's been such wonderful, wonderful growth, I might add, in Palos Park. So tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Well, the McCord home has really gone from being an activity with a few volunteers to an incredible organization, an institution, I think, in Palos Park and for the surrounding communities. So I think it's incredible the amount of work that the volunteers have done and the amount of fundraising, the philanthropic activity in Palos and the area that has created this wonderful institution, and others like Lake Catherine. So really proud of this accomplishment.
It's overwhelming. I can't imagine that they accomplished what they have, considering where they started. It's been, as I say, the piece of property's been here for a while, but this building has been here since the beginning, hasn't the building that we're in?
Yes, this building has been around. At one time they said 1834, but now it's at least the mid-1850s.
Okay, yeah. But it was a big farm at one time that I was told a long time ago that expanded all the way over almost to Harlem, going east from here. So there's a lot of stories to tell, this place. And I'm sure some people will put in some type of a chronological series of paintings that might do that very same thing. You should be very proud of your village. It's a beautiful addition to this whole southwest area. And thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
And always a pleasure to talk with you. Stay tuned, because we have many more interviews. This is such a fun interview for me to do today, because I've seen this place grow from nothing, and from this wonderful, they have such wonderful stories. You could almost do a journal on the development. I hope somebody does someday do a journal on this development of this beautiful McCord house. To my far left is Nancy Mitchell. Nancy has 1,000 stories to tell, because she was in on the groundbreaking of the idea of adding on to the McCord Cultural Center. And next to me is Lynn Ter, am I saying that correctly? Lynn Ter, I'm sorry, Lynn Ter, who's the executive director of the present whole complex.
Yes.
There are board members, and many of the board members were standing behind us at the ribbon cutting, along with the board members from the local Palos Area Chamber of Commerce. The Area Chamber of Commerce is very supportive of the different ribbon cuttings that we do, so they're very available, and we're very proud to work with them. Nancy, I'm going to start with you, because you have the most interesting stories to tell. Tell me the first, the gal that wasn't able to come, Cynthia Weglars, was very, very a part of this program, and with probably the idea, I'm thinking. But Nancy has the story to tell, let her tell it.
Pat Martin and Cynthia Weglars were the two people that really started us, and thinking of this as a cultural, wonderful center. And that, so it was, Palos Park took this over in about 2003. And at that point, they had decided that they would make it an art gallery. And art gallery, music gallery, programs, and anything that would have to do with the arts, so it's a cultural center. So at that point, we were going along, we were just doing great, and I don't know if maybe I should just say one little thing, that this building, that the main house that we're starting in right now, was actually built in 1834.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
really?
and it is the oldest house that is on the same structure, on the same basement, or if whatever we call it,
Really?
in Cook County, or in northern
that's
Illinois.
interesting.
Right. So where we are standing right now is the oldest house in northern Illinois.
That's
So-
an amazing fact.
Yeah, it is. So I thought
And
you
it's
maybe
still here.
and it's still here. And you can go down in that basement and you can see a very, very old basement. So going on, here we were now having a wonderful art gallery, and we were doing very, very well, and things were building up, and all of a sudden we thought, maybe we really need a little bit more space. So we looked over, and there was a garage right next to us, and we thought at the beginning maybe we'd use that garage and just put a couple rooms into it, put a better foundation on it and better windows and that. So we worked on that, and then when we realized that it was going to cost anywhere between maybe $40,000 to $75,000 to do that,
You swallowed hard?
we swallowed hard and thought, well, maybe we should just add on to the building, which is how it started. And Betty Anderson is the woman that stepped forward and she gave us stock, and she said, take this and have this as the basis for your building.
And that was her daughter that cut the ribbon.
That was her daughter that cut the ribbon.
Can I
yes.
say one thing about
Absolutely.
that? Pat Martin put it in a newsletter that we needed an angel.
Yes,
to help
that's
us.
right.
Oh, really?
And Betty Anderson was our angel.
Oh,
And she stepped forward. You're right. Right. Yeah. And that's how Betty thought. Yeah, she could do that and that. She's done many things. She and her husband had done many things over at the center also.
Okay.
And that. So she was our angel that started us off on this.
But that wasn't that easy, was it? I mean, you people hit. I'm trying to say, was the Palos Fine Arts in action at that point in time? Were they developed, or were they a part of a club? Or
They were not part of us,
Oh,
but they were their own.
okay.
They
Because
were.
I
on
know.
their
I
own.
think they helped you with fundraising, perhaps, or did I misread that? Well, maybe
I think initially they did,
Yes.
but not.
because I thought I read somewhere that the Palos Fine Arts and School District 118
Yes.
were very active in the fundraising.
I think they had one of the very first fundraisers
Oh,
for
okay.
us, and that. So off we went. Now, then we had somebody come in, and we had people look at it, and after a while, after the builders came and the architects came, it was decided that we probably would need about $1.2 million to do this. Now, this is now probably 2006 to 2008 when we came up with that figure. Now, 2008 was not the very best time in our time because everything was going down.
Yes, yeah.
So it was a little bit harder to raise, the money and that. But we were going along asking people, would you like to contribute to us? And then Cynthia and Jack Wegler stepped up. And Cynthia sat me down at Starbucks, for the old Starbucks that used to be here, and she said, Nancy, I would like to offer Jack and I would like to offer you $500,000 if you raise $500,000. So it was a challenge grant. Overwhelmed, we said, I can't believe you're doing this, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you still speaking to her?
Yeah, I love her.
I know. I'm only teasing. I'm only teasing you. Yeah.
So it kind of pushed us, into doing it, and then, but little by little, we have raised the money, and it's there, and as we see, it's there. It's there.
And it's all from private donations.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful story. You really need to journal. I mean, it's such a
It is.
wonderful, wonderful
It
story,
is.
and you can sell the book right here.
Yes.
So we've gone into the history of this beautiful edifice. Now let's take us into today's world. Okay, tell me how many. I mean, they have lessons. Tell us about the lessons.
We have art lessons, watercolor, painting, oil painting, drawing. Nancy's one of our students.
Yes.
We have music lessons in almost all of the instruments. And our teachers are very compassionate and welcoming. I feel like we've created a community for artists because people love to come to their classes, and they've made friends, and they welcome new people all the time. It's really a wonderful place for people to be creative.
Let me ask you, who's on display now?
This is Stephen Moss. He's an instructor at Andrew High School.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of the most exciting exhibits we've ever had. If you stand back, you see a landscape. but when you get close to the painting, you see triangles and little marks that you
All kind of
It's-
geometric
It's
figures.
just amazing. It's amazing.
how did he do this?
Yeah.
Now, the artists that display here, and you have different artists display
Yes,
on them.
yes.
Now, are these paintings for sale?
Yes.
They are,
Absolutely, yes.
so it benefits them and benefits you to have them
Absolutely,
on display.
absolutely.
Did I just read something where Stella Soliday and some are displaying somewhere? Where's that?
Yeah.
At the Palette and Chisel downtown in Chicago.
How delightful.
That's
Well,
one of our
fun, yeah.
classes, actually, Liz Wall's class.
Okay.
They've almost become professional. I mean, they're showing in a lot of the major art fairs all over the country.
Isn't that
And,
exciting?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
very exciting.
goodness, yeah.
So they're a great group, but I think the show closes today,
Oh,
actually, at the
okay.
Palette and Chisel. But
So
it's
now let's
great.
talk about the future. What events are coming up?
The opening.
Our
You have an
grand
open
opening.
house.
Our opening, which is April 30th, and that's anywhere from 2 to 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And so we would like anybody to come and to see our wonderful new addition and see the house, I mean, the original house.
Nancy, what was the date again?
April 30th.
Which is
A Sunday. Sunday,
So
April
mark
30th.
your calendar, 2 to 5, April 30th. Come on, this would be a wonderful opportunity to come, just casually familiarize yourself with it, and maybe you'll come back, pick up programs of things that are offered, the lessons. and
We will
grants
have
that are
all that
offered.
on display.
That's terrific. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
you.
Thank you, first of all, for developing this and having the guts to go forward
Yeah.
with your challenge.
Thanks,
And thank
Carol.
you for being the executive director of
Thank
this.
you.
You do a beautiful, beautiful job. And thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
And as always, thank you for watching us. Thank you for staying with us. We brought together a group of gentlemen that were responsible for building this building, and very patiently, I'm sure, going along with the changes that had to be made, adding on to a building already in existence. I'm going to introduce you to Carol Trzynski, who is the president of the board here, a very, very important part, and president at a very difficult time and challenging time, I'm sure. Tell me who I'm standing with.
Hi, we're here with Jim Wayner from Wayner Enterprises, as well as with his family who works with him, Jim Jr. and Eric. Jim was brought to our attention and ended up building our addition through one of our other fellow board members, Cynthia Weglars. The Weglars family are developers in the area and helped us to get to this next step. And he was so instrumental because we are just a group of volunteers here who are not contractors. And Jim sort of held our hand and met with us weekly and got us through all the approval process, the constructions, the costs, the limitations. I think that I could almost come to work for him at this point since I've been doing this for so long. But I'd like to introduce Jim Wayner, who maybe can tell a little bit about the construction of the building.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. The project was really a challenge because we started out with a plan that was over budget that the folks have been working on for quite a while, and it was a great design, but actually couldn't be afforded. So we had to work back on a complete redesign of the building and work with the board on take this out and do what we had to do to try to bring the cost down to where it was manageable. And that took a little bit of time, but ultimately, we had a great design. We're able to get very nice competitive bids and got the project going and got it up in a very quick time frame.
I understand that you got it up there by January 2017, which was your goal, or at least the
Yes.
board's
Right.
goal.
Yes, and it turned out beautiful. I mean, the contractors who worked on it did a wonderful job. We did have grandiose dreams of what the building could have been, but reality said this is the funding available. So we still pushed to make it the most versatile building we could. And as you'll probably see through the video, we have a beautiful gallery. We have 2 classrooms for classes. We have a stage. And Jim and the architects, they all kind of worked through all the details and all the hang-ups and all the problems, and we really think we put together something really special for the Southwest Burbs.
So you have to come in and view for yourself. It's a beautiful blending of old and new. Gentlemen.
It is great to go see the difference between the old building and the new building. You get to walk through, and right through the fire doors there, you could actually walk down the stairs and go right into the new building. So it's really a nice blend of old and new, and you get to see all the artwork and all the history of the old building to go with all the modern features of it too.
It's a project to be very, very proud of, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure dealing with everyone within the village, the commissioners, the gentlemen who would come out and check everything along the way, all the people from the village. I appreciate all their input and help. I was a project manager out here for the duration of the project, and you know, there's always bumps in the road. There's no question. That's true on every job, and this was no different. But overall, I think we made it through, and it turned out to be beautiful.
Well, congratulate you. It's a beautiful place and on time.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
when is
Yes,
construction ever
absolutely.
on time?
And on budget.
And on budget.
Oh, my God. You should have a huge plaque. Congratulate you. That's quite an accomplishment. Thank you very much for doing that, and thank you very much for talking with us this morning. As always, thank you for staying with us.